Hey everybody, it is Mr. George, and I wanted to create a short video today that looked at a contemporary example of a civilization. So I'm using Massachusetts as the state, as the example of a civilization. So when I use the acronym CARAS, I'm looking at the 5 characteristics of a civilization: C for complex institutions, A for advanced cities, R for record keeping, A for advanced technology, and S for specialized workers. So in our class, we've been looking at, Sumer as an example, and as we start to move through our timeline, we'll look at, other river valley civilizations, such as Indus Valley, such as China, such as Egypt, Sumer within Mesopotamia, and then we'll start to look at other civilizations as we get to Eastern and Western classical civilizations. So I just want to provide something that is contemporary, that is a present example, and I thought this would be a simple way to show the 5 characteristics with examples of each of those characteristics. So if I just start over here with complex institutions, I have, for example, religious organizations. So like, the Catholic Church, education. So whether it's high schools, private high schools, colleges, universities. When we look at law enforcement organizations, so for example, Massachusetts State Police, we have local police departments. And then we also have, for example, the Massachusetts National Guard. So when we say complex institutions, we're talking about, first of all, the opposite of complex is simple. So we have levels, we have layers, we have like a hierarchy, and we have these organizations that are required to help us manage things. So even though we look at these 5 different characteristics individually, they really are all related and connected. So under advanced cities, I just provided 5 cities in the state of Massachusetts, and I did choose 5 that had a population that exceeded 100,000. So I have Cambridge, Lowell, Springfield, Worcester, and the city of Boston. So in order to be a civilization, you need to have more than one city. Okay? So there's more than one city here. And when we say advanced cities, these cities have some type of internal structures, like, for example, advanced plumbing. And when we start to look at what makes these cities advanced, you'll see will start to show up within, say, advanced technology. Okay, so when we say advanced cities, we have systems in place in these cities. Whether it's communication, whether it's transportation, we have these systems in place that allow these cities to sustain and grow their population. So as we come down to record keeping, there's a lot of examples. I just chose a few. So for example, the need to manage and record and keep track of taxes. So for example, in Massachusetts, they have to keep track of sales taxes, real estate taxes, income taxes. We have, for example, the Registry of Motor Vehicles has to keep track of all motor vehicle records, as far as registrations for automobiles, for boats, for license renewals, any of those administrative things that need to be recorded to make sure that cars are registered. So this is a good example where the Registry of Motor Vehicles is a complex organization, and within that complex organization, because it's complex, is the need to record things. So for example, we have court records, people to keep track of when people get arrested, when people have to, pay alimony, when people have to, when they're on probation. So they need to keep track of people who are in court. And then we have, each of the towns and cities has to keep track of property records, assessor's office, as far as addresses, who lives there, value of the homes. That ties in with, anything that's happening as far as, new construction, or if someone's adding an addition onto their home. So I think you can see within these two, they're really connected. We have complex institutions, and then through that, the need for them to keep track and manage things. So advanced technology. So just a couple really simple examples. Electricity. People around the state of Massachusetts require electricity, so they're getting it from several different sources. Okay, we have cell phone coverage. So there are towers spread throughout the state of Massachusetts, where if people travel, they're still able to receive cell phone coverage. People have Wi-Fi within their homes, and also that those internet connections need to be delivered where people live and work. Just the idea of having cars that allow people to travel around the state of Massachusetts, as well as the Fast Pass system that allows people to travel, pay tolls without having to stop. We used to have toll booths. They were kind of hazards. They also slowed traffic down. This is a much easier, faster way. So when we talk about technology, most of the time, students think of technology as like computers, which is fine. But really, technology is like anything that's allowing something to be done faster, easier, simpler. So, for example, initially when the wheel was created, or like a wheelbarrow, or like a plow, it allowed people to work faster, to be more productive, to be more efficient. Okay, and as a result of that, it gives people more time, which leads us to the last characteristic, which are specialized workers. So here we have individuals who are not farmers, because remember, the reason why we have specialized workers is because everyone's not focused on just finding food and feeding themselves for survival. So we have physicians, teachers, architects, writers, electricians. These are individuals that because they specialize, have a level of proficiency, they get good at their jobs, and it allows advancements within those jobs and allows civilizations to advance and to progress. So I hope this was a helpful video that provided a contemporary example of the 5 characteristics of a civilization as we look at current examples from each of those characteristics, and you can see that really all 5 of them are connected and are related. Thank you for watching.